I'm so proud of me. Put the streets on top where they supposed to be. The sky is the limit, that's what Jesus said.
Hey, what's up? It's your man Kev Easy, man. We here for another week of Easy Said. I'm a day late, well, 2 days late, but hey, man, I've been feeling like shit. First, we're gonna get into young Scooter, rest in peace, man. Passed away a couple of days ago. He was running from police, and there was a big question on how he passed, but they were saying, it was kind of adamant and kind of clear that, you know, his injuries were sustained by accident being him like trying to jump 2 fences and getting caught on one where, you know, he got a cut in his inner thigh, most likely hitting the artery, and he bled out. So for a couple days, you know, the hip-hop community been dealing with that, and recently there was an arrest made, and the arrest was made because a woman, can't get her name right now, man, but it'll be up here, you'll see it up here, but she was arrested for basically, for lack of better words, setting up young Scooter.
Led to the death of rapper Young Scooter was a lie. Police arrested the woman who made that 911 call earlier.
Considering the context of that call, Courtney and Russ, Atlanta police officers say that they took the 31-year-old Demetria Spence into custody within the last few hours. Investigators now say that 911 call led to the death of 39-year-old rapper Young Scooter. This all started Friday in southeast Atlanta, where investigators say Spence told 911 operators there was something seriously wrong at a home on William Nye Drive.
You guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and there's a child involved. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl.
Police now say Spence made that call from a 911 only phone, and it was a lie. When officers got to the home, they say the 2 men ran out the back door. One of those men was rapper Young Scooter, whose real name is Kenneth Bailey. Police say Bailey injured himself jumping over a fence, and today the medical examiner ruled Bailey died from a penetrating injury to his right thigh. They say that his death was accidental. Demetria Spence is now charged with transmitting a false public alarm. She's being held in the Fulton County Jail. Meantime, APD has not provided a motive for that call.
Nah, that's foul. I'm a little happy that, I don't want to use the word happy, right? But it's a little satisfying that the woman was caught and arrested, because this can all, even though it was a black woman doing it to a black guy, like, you can run this back to Emmett Till, like, where you're lying and cost someone's life, can cost someone their life, excuse me. It's disgusting, and I'm disgusted, because if you look at the one picture they put up of her, and then you look at the picture, the mugshot, number one, whoever did her makeup, she need to get paid, or he need to get paid top dollar, because what they was able to do for this woman, it's crazy, man. But let this be a lesson to anyone out there that's not mature enough to handle things how they're supposed to handle it. Now, I believe she came out and before she was arrested, she came out and said something. If I have that clip, it'll be played. But if not, you know, it's nasty work, man. Overall, it's nasty work. Rest in peace, Young Scooter. It was one of them situations like, damn, bro, like, shouldn't have ran. But he probably had some other stuff going on. I'm not gonna get into that. But man, this is a bad incident. An incident that probably could have, not even probably, it should have been prevented. It should have never went down. Like, to cry wolf to the police. So I forgot what it's actually called. But rest in peace, Young Scooter. My thoughts and prayers for his family, and friends, and everyone that love him. Easy said, crying wolf will always come back to bite you in your ass. Hey, what's up? It's your man Kev Easy, man. This time around, we talking about Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. First ballot, this is fire. Reason being is because this is the ultimate goal for a pro athlete, right? I know a lot of people say, it's a championship. It's a championship. Like, yeah. But one thing about a championship is if you win one, you have an opportunity to win another one. When you are inducted into the Hall of Fame, first ballot, you don't get inducted into a Hall of Fame again. Unless it's, another team, your team or whatever. But the actual Basketball Hall of Fame, you only get one time to get that moment, if you're inducted in. So shout out to Carmelo. Carmelo's career, and it's dope for me because Carmelo's my favorite basketball player of all time. This is a guy that I stole my offensive game from. You feel me? Like, I stole all his moves. I used it. I became a fan during Syracuse, that run. I remember Sports Illustrated. They had LeBron on the covers, but they had alternate covers as well. And shout out to my moms, you feel me? Rest in peace. But she was in tune of what I liked, you feel me? She knew that I favored Carmelo Anthony. So I ended up getting the Sports Illustrated covers with Carmelo on it. I kind of wish I still had them to these days, man, to this day. But so I'm following Carmelo. He gets into the NBA, gets drafted to the Nuggets. And to me, I feel like his tenure with the Nuggets was his best opportunity to get a championship because of the teams he had, the way he played. I feel like his style was better suited to win on the West than when he got to the East. And he just had better teammates, man. Granted, a lot of his teammates ended up joining him on the Knicks, but they were older, you feel me? But I feel like the Nuggets had opportunities. I remember the battles against the Jazz with Carlos Boozer and Darren Williams. I remember the battles with Kobe and the Lakers, especially when it came down to that Western Conference Finals. It was so close, man, but Kobe and Powell couldn't be denied down the stretch. And the Nuggets really had a George Karl problem, right? I feel like if the Nuggets had a different coach, it could have been any coach, to be honest with you. I feel like the Nuggets get past the Lakers that year, but George Karl was so he's an egomaniac, and he wanted everything to be done his way or the right way or whatever. And it just doesn't work. Like, he has an issue with his star players everywhere he went, but that I feel like that halted that Nuggets team. Not only did I feel that way, multiple players from Carmelo, from JR, from Kenyon Martin, I even think Chauncey said something about it, but there was a lot of the players over there that felt that George Karl was not the downfall, but he was the reason why they couldn't get over the hump because he wouldn't adjust properly, right? But Carmelo's Denver career, it didn't end well, and I feel like that's the reason why Jokic has 15. They just gave it to Jokic. Like, hey, man, we just going to give somebody in the second round Carmelo's number just to show him up. Not thinking that Jokic was going to be this monster that he is now. But overall, I think Carmelo's Denver tenure was solid, especially when you have to compare him to his brothers, LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, people in his draft class, right? Those guys. Where LeBron team didn't make the playoffs the first year. Carmelo took his 17-win team to the playoffs his rookie year. We got snubbed for Rookie of the Year. That was a popularity award right there for that year. Just the amount of success he was able to have. He was always in the playoffs for the most part over there. His only the only brick wall that he really faced was the Lakers and the Spurs. And those two, the Lakers and the Spurs, was battling. Basically, it was a point in time where whoever came out the West out of those two teams won the championship. So Melo had a tough time there, but to me, I feel like it was successful based off where he took that organization, right? from where that organization was before he got there. Then he goes to the Knicks. The trade, you know, I'm like I think junior or senior going into in high school at the time, and you know, I was kind of skeptical on the trade because I was like, yo, they gave up a whole lot of players. Like what? But I was like, all right, maybe Amari and Melo can do something, right? But Amari ended up getting hurt, and that never really panned out. Then you have a whole bunch of like the Knicks had no real culture when Carmelo was there. When they brought in Phil Jackson, that was probably like the worst decision ever. The only I take that back. They had a culture with Knicks tape when it was Melo, JR, Ahmad, and Tyson Chandler, you know, Novak, like those type of guys, right? But it had a Phil Jackson problem, you know, wanted Coach Mike Woodson and others to coach how he wanted to be Pat Riley, and it didn't pan out well, man. So you saw like you saw the Knicks be able to take a step, but I really believe that was because you had veterans like Chauncey, veterans like Jason Kidd, like the OGs at this point, that was able to help the Knicks go into, you know, this ultimately the second round to lose to Indiana, man. But other than that, Carmelo on every given night gave you everything, you know, despite of what the organization did to help him. And even that kind of didn't end well because of the whole pushing out thing. Like, and then after that, Carmelo bounced around from OKC to Portland to Houston to, I think he had a Wizards jersey. He didn't fully go there, and then the Lakers. You know, so the last few seasons of Carmelo's career didn't end how I wanted it to end as a fan of Carmelo's, but overall, you can't deny that he definitely made his mark. Because without Carmelo Anthony, I don't believe you have a guy like Paul George. You don't have a guy like KD. You don't have a guy like, you know, a couple of other guys that's a three that was focused on having a bag offensively, right? But yeah, man, Carmelo definitely left his mark. Hall of Fame. Me, I always said this, and this is before he even got in the top 10. I was like, yo, to me, in my opinion, if you go through your whole career healthy and you finish your career in the top 10 of what you do best, I feel like you had a Hall of Fame career. You like that. You can live with not having a championship. You know, Carmelo, I think when he retired, he was maybe 9th or 8th. I think he's 10th right now. So, man, well-deserved. I cannot wait for his speech. You know, like, low-key want to figure out if people can go, because I would definitely pull up. Yeah, man, I just aged myself out with that, man. But shout out to Carmelo Anthony, man. Hell of a career. They broke the waiting process just for you. I know LeBron is going to one-up it because once he retired, they're going to put him on the ballot that year. So enjoy this right now while you can, bro, man. Salute to you. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, one of my favorite podcasts, man. Doing a hell of a job in your next career. You know, he wants to be an owner of the Wizards. Now, if he got that bag and he was able to put that bag together and he's able to do that, I think he could turn that around. I'll be rooting for him, man. But shout out to Carmelo Anthony, man. Hall of Fame, first ballot. Easy said, it don't matter what they say. It's all about what you do. Yo, man. Who would have thought Vlad will be beefing with a wrestler? Now, Vlad had AEW Swerve Strickland up there, where for like 2 or 3 videos, he was kind of like getting on Booker T. And, you know, WWE and stuff like that, right? And Vlad, I know Vlad is not all into the wrestling thing. And so he's going to ask questions. And if it's some beef there, he's going to probably try to pick it and do what he do. And Vlad is very good at what he does. So Booker T said, he put out a tweet or whatever. He was like, yo, I had turned it down. because he had responded to Swerve, saying how he was disappointed. He was like, yo, you know, I wasn't going, like, I had the opportunity to go on Vlad, but I turned it down. And that struck a nerve with Vlad. Vlad is in his era where if you say anything that he feel like you lying about, he gonna pull out the receipts. He gonna wild out. Me personally, I don't think it's cool to do that if you're trying to do business with people, because what he ended up doing, he ended up releasing the text messages, and the text messages from 2020, and it's basically like, yo, Book, I would like to get you on the show. Booker T was cool with it. And I'm gonna just stop it there. Vlad, you may not get any WWE legends on your platform because of this. You gotta kind of chill out with how you do things, man, because you might be affecting other businesses. I mean, other opportunities. Now, I know you probably don't care because you're successful now, but what my man say, man, I forgot his name. It was like, the same people you see going up will be the same people you see when you going down. That's what's gonna happen. VladTV is not gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna last as long for, I feel like it's gonna last for another decade, but you never know. I thought World Star was gonna be around for a long time. I thought Twitter was gonna stay Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So like, you never really know. But back to the story, he had released the text messages and all that stuff, right? And then Booker T's name started getting smeared and crazy. You feel me? Everybody like, yo, Booker T lying and this and that. And Booker T came back out. He was like, yo, here's the other text messages that he didn't put up. And in the middle of that, Vlad did admit that he was late, so it never happened. So it didn't happen, you know. And the ones that Booker T put out, the text messages he put out, he said, if I'm lying, I'm dying. You feel me? That's what the caption said. But his response was basically ghosting Vlad, right? Because Vlad is texting him, like, yo, we can do this, we can do that. I still want you on the platform, this, that. And Booker T said, thanks, but no thanks. Vlad, you got to eat that. You were late. A lot of people don't like that rescheduling stuff, especially if they busy. Booker T is a busy guy. He's doing his show. He's doing other things at that time. You know what I mean? Because he was still doing the show. I think he was on ESPN Radio and probably like 2020 and 2021. I think he was still over there. But and then on top of that, I think he was still doing he was doing commentary at the time. Like, he was a busy guy. He moving around. So, like, in this bad practice, if you're going to show up late, you might as well chalk that one up. You know what I'm saying? So, when he put those out, the pendulum swift back to Booker T. But the people that naturally hate Booker T because of whatever, they were still riding. But I think this situation was crazy. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about Vlad just exposing text messages and all that, or just men in general exposing text messages. You feel me? Because I'm saying this is a trend that's really going on, and coming up, that was nothing we didn't do that. We just didn't do that, man. Easy said, stop acting out of emotion, because it could definitely fuck you up in the long run.